On another episode of crazy shit that has happened in Jessica's life. Y'all, I gotta tell you about the false prophet I met. Okay, so I was a surrogate for a friend of mine who is now my sister. Because, bitch, I love you. I love you. I know you see this. I'm actually gonna send this one to you. Anyway, so I was a surrogate for a friend of mine, and I decided to hide my pregnancy because I didn't want anybody to sway me any way, any which way, because my mind was set. I talked with God, and that's just what it was, which is a whole nother story within itself. Anyways, so I met this lady, and we clicked immediately. She picked up on that I was spiritual right away, which I now learn is kind of a red flag for me. I'm not saying don't let it be a red flag for you, but for me, it makes me kind of like scan you a little bit better. So this lady was teaching me all kinds of shit. Okay, all kinds of shit, and we were just like comparing, contrasting. You know what I mean? Because that's just what we do. So as our relationship goes on, and she actually took me in to help me hide my pregnancy. Hey, grateful for you, but at the same time, I heard you, God. I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying it. Anyways, she mentions to me that her daughter has a demonic entity in her. And let me tell y'all, if you guys have never seen a child contort in weird ways, keep it off of your bingo card. Okay? Keep it off your bingo card. You don't want no part of that. So she's like, will you help me get rid of this thing? Sure. No problem. So we are all in the same room. Her husband, her two girls, my two boys, and me. So my two boys were sleeping. Her two girls were sleeping. Her husband was sleeping. And we did it all in the same room because we kind of informed her husband that this is what we were doing. Anyways, I pray over my boys. She prays over her family. The oldest daughter is the one with this demonic thing in her. And when this demonic energy is actually physically in the body, they do this like weird choking thing. They're not actually choking, but they sound like they're choking, and their bodies just make weird movements. Okay, weird movements. So she prays over her daughter, the oldest daughter, the one with this demonic thing in it, and then it jumps to her youngest. So she prays over her youngest. It jumps into her husband. Which I already thought it was kind of weird because we prayed before we started this, okay? So then she prays over her husband, and it goes back to the oldest. See, I prayed over my kids. They were not affected by this at all. So then I realized, okay, it's in her oldest now. So I step in, was like, do you know what? Let me pray. So I prayed over her oldest, and it was the same cycle, right? So as this thing comes up, like they literally cough it out, and then you can see it jump into another person because the movements are exactly the same. It's creepy, okay? It's creepy. It's weird. So I pray over the oldest, it jumps into the youngest. We see it. I pray over the youngest, it jumps into the husband. When we get to the husband and I pray, man, let me tell you, them walls shook. And you hear the loudest boom. And it shook the walls. And she looks at me, she said, Jessica, what the fuck just happened? I said, well, it's gone. It's gone, right? Let me tell you, not even a few days later, it was back. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So she asked me if I've ever done this in a church. I have not. But during my studying and my learning and all of this, I have learned I do better with prayer, and then I open up my mind. So we decided that we were going to go down to a church in Reno, Nevada. Beautiful church. It's gorgeous, okay? So when we go in, it is just us three. That's it, in the whole church. She takes her daughter back to the holy water. I go sit in the bleacher. I don't know, even know what they're called. Benches? I don't know. So I'm about like midway from between the podium and the back, right? So I'm about midway. I sit there and I'm praying to God and the archangels, like, hey, I am coming up against a battle. I need your help. And so then I open up my mind. Next thing you know, I'm sitting back, I'm looking at myself, and I see these massive glitter balls. There's 5 of them, right? And they are just circling each other. They're gorgeous, and they got these gorgeous trails to them. And then next thing you know, they are filling up next to me. Like the glitter is filling up. And I've got 5 angels standing next to me. And I even got one hand on my shoulder. Like they are surrounding me. Next thing you know, everything goes dark. Black. And it's like I have this plexiglass in front of me. And there is this snake, right? And it's just kind of slithering like this. And it keeps whispering Zambala, Zambala. Well, comes to find out, Zambala is just an earth god in the voodoo religion. So and even I knew, well, I didn't know that in that time, but I knew that that snake is not what I was looking for. And so I told the snake, I said, no, I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for somebody else. Well, that snake just dissolves in midair. And next thing you know, on the podium is a little schoolboy dressed in Catholic school clothes with little alfalfa hair, right? So he got the little beep. And I was like, yeah, you are the one I'm looking for. And next thing you know, this kid's mouth opens. I mean, we're talking like opens with rows and rows and rows and rows of sharp teeth. Rows of them. And next thing you know, he gets these little charred wings. The embers are still hot and they're sizzling the wings, okay? These little wings come out. And next thing you know, this thing comes charging at me. But it's like hitting that plexiglass, like you can't touch me type deal. And I rebuke it in the name of Jesus, this and all of that. And next thing you know, this thing just sizzles up. Poof! Next thing you know, I'm back too. And there is a lady all in white on her knees praying with the rosary in her hand. Okay, mind you, there was only 3 of us in that building. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. What was weirder is there were people lining that whole church. Old, young, in between, construction workers. I mean, little old ladies, kids in regular clothes, and people in suits, and construction workers, and just an array of people. White, black, Mexican, Asian, it didn't matter. And they were all just standing there like this. They didn't say a word. They didn't look any different. They didn't even look to the left or the right. Like they were dead set. Okay, dead set, looking straight on. The false prophet is what I call her. So the false prophet was like, Jessica, what the fuck just happened? I was like, well, I know what I experienced. What the hell did you experience? And she was telling me that when I had opened my mind, she said there were crows around the whole church. And so if you're looking in the church, there's the podium on the right side. That's where the sun is hitting. But she said on the left side, there were giants walking next to this church, right? And I'm more like, where the fuck did all these people come from? What are they doing here, right? And it was pretty freaking crazy. I still don't know who those people are. I do think they were earth angels, because I went in there with a purpose. Like, I'm up against something and I need help. And that was God's way of like, I got you, boo. Check this. It was wild. It's still the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. I actually ended up seeing that same lady with her daughter a while later. And unfortunately, comes to find out, the mom was actually inviting this dark entity to come into her daughter. And when I saw them last, the mother was not doing well. The daughter was doing better. But that mother is full of darkness. So please be aware. That shit was fucking scary. Would I do it all over again? Absolutely.